Hello and welcome to the third video in our series on intelligent process automation, brought to you by Combined Intelligence and Digital Workforce, and today a special guest from EdgeTech. Each of our videos is under 15 minutes long and designed to give you insight and inspiration into how you can accelerate your intelligent process automation journey. The topic for this video is how to start your intelligent process automation journey. It's targeted at organisations, whether you're small or large, who are at the early stages of your journey. We just discussed the key building blocks that you will need to achieve early success. If you've missed any of our previous videos or want to catch future videos, then please follow us on LinkedIn or subscribe through the links provided with this video. The videos are being released during May and June 2021, and the topics are listed on the slide and attached to the video. You're invited to register to join us in a free interactive webinar on the topic of intelligent process automation that we're hosting on the 17th of June. The links to register are also with this video, and you can also submit questions for us that we'll do our best to answer during that webinar. I'm Steve Sheppard, CEO of Combined Intelligence. We're a specialist consultancy business focused on helping organisations realise the full potential of intelligent technology, from vision through to realisation. I'm joined today by Karri from Digital Workforce and our special guest, Harrison from EdgeTech. Karri, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Steve. My name is Karri Lehtonen. I'm the Head of Business Development here at Digital Workforce. We're a global advisory and services provider in the field of intelligent automation and operating in Europe and North America. Harrison.
Hi, yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for having me. My name's Harrison Goode. I'm one of the co-founders of EdgeTech, and we're an emerging technology recruitment firm which recruits for companies of all sizes across the globe, permanent and contract, for all things intelligent automation and emerging technologies.
Fantastic. Really good to have you here, Harrison, today. So, yeah, let's get to today's topic, how to start your IPA journey. And my first question today will go to Steve. And the question is what are the key considerations when starting your IPA journey, in your opinion?
Well, there's sort of a broad range, really, and I think it depends very much on the scale of the organisation and what you're trying to achieve. I think the key starting point is around the vision and what the organisation wants to achieve. One of the challenges around new technologies and particularly technologies that are fairly hyped, like automation and robotics and so on, is that they can be a big push and a sudden driver to focus on, in this case, quite often cost reduction, and to look at this technology as a way to help the bottom line and reduce costs, which there is potential for that, and certainly that's one of the key benefits that organisations can achieve. But what needs to really happen is that you need to align the vision with the broader vision for the business, and utilise these intelligent technologies to help support the business growth, to help achieve the business's own mission, that what it wants to achieve as an organisation. And I think one of the key things is to align this technology component, this automation element, and its vision and what you want to achieve through it with the wider business objectives, and set up a strategy that helps the organisation not just focus on perhaps that cost reduction benefit, but looking at the bigger pictures and the wider benefits of intelligent process automation, which we discussed briefly in the previous video. And to focus on areas where actually you can make a real difference. So, picking opportunities that, what works well is to pick typically, task-based opportunities where you've got a team of people that are doing a fairly mundane, repetitive operation that technology can actually pick up and do better. And if you pick up those processes, that allows you to relatively quickly be successful, to demonstrate the capabilities of technology. And then you've got the ability to look wider and to look at your broader end-to-end processes and be a bit more transformational, a bit more innovative in what you're doing. But to actually make it all happen, there's a variety of things. If you pick the right opportunities, which is key and fundamental, you do need sponsorship within the organization. So, a senior leader who has the authority and the drive to make things happen and to ultimately convince other parts of the business that the application of intelligent automation is a good thing, and they shouldn't be defensive, and they should look at this as a positive, and how it can help transform and improve what their teams and their organization does. So that executive senior sponsorship who understands what the business needs, as well as what the technology is going to help achieve, is sort of key. Two areas, you're not going to be successful if you don't have the right people with the right skills to move your program forward. And what we'll do is, I'm sure we'll hand over to Harrison in a minute, and he'll pick up very much around how we can, how you should build a team, what skills and capabilities you need around that. But you need that diverse, level of understanding of the technology through to ability to communicate and work with operational teams to do business analysis, understand processes, and so on. So a range of skills needed. Technology, platform, IT, selecting which, RPA platform, for example, you might choose is important. There are variations across them, but a lot of them can actually do a very similar set of functionality and capability. But it's fitting one that works with you as an organization, with the skill set perhaps your internal team has, as well as the capability of the platform and what it will support. Linked to that closely is IT. IT can affect connectivity, it can affect security. It can sometimes be a blocker if you're not careful, to enable you to actually use these automation tools to interact with your business systems, for example, and to do that in a secure way that doesn't put data at risk or access to systems at risk as well. Again, linked to that, life cycle and governance. It's something in both areas will quite often evolve. You can bring in specialists to help you with this, but you will over time look to improve how you have a full life cycle, from identifying opportunities through to going live and operationally supporting it, and having a level of governance in there to make sure that you've got good quality solutions going in that are supportable and maintainable, as well as delivering the business benefits that you're expecting. And the last, but certainly not least, is communications and buy-in. The old adage of, operations teams, you don't want to try and do something to them, you want to do something with them. This is their processes that you're looking to automate. They're the ones that understand the service they're trying to deliver. And it's very important that, if you set up a centre of excellence, for example, that they work closely with with the operations team to achieve the success, and to do it jointly so that everyone can see the benefits and ultimately get the buy-in across the business to what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, that's a lot of things to consider, I guess, and what I'm sort of gathering from that is obviously, we are talking about technology and digital workers and whatnot, but the human factor is actually probably the most important factor to consider. So my next question, that kind of leads nicely to my question to Harrison, is how do you build a team to deliver automation?
Yes, yeah, great question. And I think by starting off from our side is clearly the first bullet point on here, is that people are critical to success. I think sometimes it's often an afterthought for some organizations that have started on their journey or that will start on their journey. There's very much a focus around the technology and what the technology can do. And then, clearly around the process and how that's going to affect the business. But, the people really do tie into that. And getting all three to marry up is very crucial. So in building a team, you need to make sure that you get the right people in there, and given that will lead to, to success essentially at the end of the day, because if you don't have the right people, the right skills, that's not going to happen, or it will be a lot harder. And that kind of leads on to the second point around what we're seeing as the war. We're calling it the war for emerging technology talent. I'm sure people will already know this, but as technology starts to emerge, the skills that are available for people who can effectively implement, design, develop, work with these technologies is very few and far between, because the technologies are so new. So it's crucial to get that right the first time around and get the right people in, because the talent pool is so tight at the moment right across the globe. We're seeing it, across the UK, into Europe, into the US as well. It's the same everywhere, and everyone's having the same problem. And what we like to see, and what happens quite a lot of the time, is really starting from the top with an experienced lead to help run and manage the program, and then the team then gets built from the top down, rather than adding the bottom layer and then trying to build up from there on. It's all about starting from the top, having good leadership and control over that project, and enabling you to move towards success. And really the three approaches that we see, I mean, there are many different ways to go about this, and we've seen so many different approaches that companies have taken, and there's not really one right way, as they all have worked in some form or another. So it's really down to how the organization is set up, what their approach is, and what they have to work with internally as well. So the first one that we see quite often from our side, being a recruitment company, is building a team directly within the organization, whether that's a combination of internal resources and people that you have internally that you can promote up within your organization and move into these new and exciting roles. It can give them a new sense of responsibility within the organization. Clearly they already know a lot about the business and what's happening, but then also bringing external people in as well with proven experience, bringing them in as a permanent resource to help with your project. The second one, which again is still quite popular, is what is classed as temp to perm, or maybe contract to permanent. So bringing in a contract team to really start with that building, the kind of implementation, the initial phases of that, and as they're doing that, then hiring permanent resource on top of them. So when that transition phase happens, you will have your team to kind of take over from that contract team that's coming to help you. And one of the other approaches, the third one that we've got on the screen, is selecting a partner, having a managed service. So essentially, you almost pass some of the responsibility to someone else, an organization that has the prior experience of going in, building, setting up a capability and running it for you, which has proven successful numerous times. And, that can really take a lot of strain off of the organization, because, recruitment and hiring does take up a lot of time. And sometimes there's a risk that you might get it wrong, but bringing in a partner who could do that for you is very valuable. And clearly they'll be experts at it. And I think one of the last points that I wanted to touch on was, what we're seeing certainly right across the globe is having a skilled mix of local resources on site who get the business, who are local, maybe they've been promoted within the organization, or you've brought them in externally, but also combining that with either nearshore or offshore resources to supplement additional workloads, or if the program starts to ramp up, having access to that talent elsewhere. Sometimes it can be at low cost as well, which is also quite beneficial. And given that everyone's working remotely at the moment, it's not too dissimilar from what the perm team would be doing. So yeah, there's a few different ways there, but to kind of summarize, really starting from the top, having that expert in to kind of lead things and take control, and then building from that. And then there's those sort of three approaches that we see, but clearly there are many ways to sort of skin a cat, as they say. So there's numerous ways that you could do it, and not one is right, but as long as you have it set out, then you're on the right track for success.
Very interesting points of view. Nice to hear. And I assume that the market is not getting any easier in terms of recruiting talent going forward. So
no, not at all. In fact, I mean, this year we've really seen an influx. A lot of organizations are adopting digital and intelligent technologies now. I think, with what's happened in the world, I think it's given everyone a push to adopt these technologies and take a look at their business and think, actually, we could automate quite a lot of the work that we're doing and kind of become a bit more efficient as a whole. So yeah, that war for talent is still there. The talent gap is still there. So yeah, we like to see more people coming through, but the demand is ever increasing.
Yeah. We seem to have that same war going on in our company as well. Now, that's fantastic. Yeah, thanks very much.
I think that was it for sort of our questions for our video today. Thank you for watching. We hope you found it interesting. Thanks to Harrison, our special guest today, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
This is the third of our series, and we are sort of releasing them during May and June in 2021. We've included a variety of links on the slide there, but we've also posted them with the video. It will give you access to follow us so you can see future videos, to register for our live interactive webinar, which we're hosting on the 17th of June. Everyone's welcome to attend. Obviously, it's going to be covering intelligent process automation, and we will provide also an email link that you can send questions to that we will do our best to answer during that final webinar. We've also provided a link, thanks to EdgeTech, to their annual report on RPA and intelligent automation, their market report. So you're welcome to download that and access that. Thank you for that, Harrison. And thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. We hope you get the chance to watch our future videos as well.